Welcome, everybody, to the PHDJ Podcast. My name is Mike.
Yo, this is Joe.
What's going on, Joe? It was great seeing you last week, dude.
Man, it was good seeing you, too.
Really great.
We saw each other a lot. I was pretty impressed with how much we, between going to your MC workshop and then doing the PHDJ together, we hung out a lot.
Yeah, it was.
And we went to dinner one night. That was
did.
That was very.
Yeah, that was Monday night. I was happy to do that.
Yeah, me too, man.
Yeah, that was good conversation with Randy Bartlett.
Yes, it was. And Howard Wallach.
Howard's a piece of work. I like that guy.
He's good people. And then, Cammie and is that her name? Brandon.
Cammie and Brandon and Brandy's wife. Yeah, it was a nice dinner. So before we launch into a quick recap, I got the nicest letter from John Sawyers. Is he the gentleman that stopped by personally, right? I thought so. I thought this kind of tied it all together. He wrote me, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but 2-page letter. I'm holding it up. It's the nicest thing about how you and I and our podcast has helped him out. Wow. And he included a little bonus, which he didn't have to do, John, but thank you very much. It was very appreciative. The words meant so much to me, and I know he's a loyal listener, so I figured he would hear this. So thank you, John.
That's
you made my day,
man. Yeah, what a great guy.
Great guy. Great. And you know what? It's things like that keep you and I going when we get the feedback. And especially in Vegas last week, I'm sure you heard many people.
I did.
I actually said to you at one point, Joe, you're missing right after my seminar. I had so many people coming up to me and talking about the podcast, and you were off having a conversation. I said, Joe, you're missing all the love. Everybody's
I was selling stuff for you.
I know you were. Thank you. That's why I didn't want to interrupt you too much. Right. But yeah, I wanted to make sure you heard that. So you had a good week last week?
I did. It was, there's a lot of PHDJ listeners there, podcast listeners there, and there are a lot of DJ's Vault members there.
Yes.
So it was, I think for both of you, it's not, I don't want to use the word overwhelming, but it kind of is, a lot of selfies taken, a lot of conversations, a lot more talking than I do on a weekly basis. 'Cause, I'm usually here by myself, 5 days a week.
I will never complain about it because I always shake my head when famous people are like, oh, I can't even go out to eat without being bothered. And I'm like, you're fans, and I'm not trying to put you and I on that level, but if you're a celebrity, your fans are what make you rich and famous, and how many actors would kill for that to be the biggest problem in their life.
Yep.
The fact that they can't walk through the mall without being stopped for a selfie.
It was great.
In our own little world, you and I have carved out a little bit of a niche, and we're well known, and that's great. And especially when it comes with feedback like John's about how we're impacting their business in a positive way, it's super. It feels good.
I love to see the people that graduated from the workshop like holding up their diplomas and
no doubt
reposting the pictures that we took and giving us a little plug in there. So I thought it was a great week, man. I can't say enough.
So you got to see way more education than I did. I literally, you know how many seminars I saw?
I say 2.
0.0.
0.0.
Besides my own, which doesn't really count, I literally wrote my seminar. I was busy the rest of the day, like you said, selling stuff, which is very cool. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I was in the MC workshops. I was leading those all morning. So I didn't see any other educational. So you tell me, what were your best educational moments? You don't have to do the best. You do one or two.
No. I'm just kind of flipping through, and the ones I saw, Foray was really good. He's always interactive and did a little game thing that was really cool. He gave away a membership to the Vault. I thought that was awesome.
Dude, he's a born game show host. He really is.
Period.
Yeah.
Let's see. Who else did I see that day? I missed our friend Andrea Eppolito. Let's see what else I liked. Wednesday was a really good day as well because Big Daddy did the wake up. He and Jordan did the wake up.
With Jordan, the guys that we had on the podcast. Yeah. Very cool.
Yep. And called me up there on stage, of course.
Is that where the famous "I'll slap the South out of you"?
No, that happened.
That came from Monday.
A different time, right?
Yeah. He was there. He did Monday and Wednesday morning. Yes. Right. Yeah.
So Monday he threatened to slap the South out of my mouth because I wouldn't come up on stage.
That's a funny line.
And then I think so. Wednesday was followed by. So Big Daddy did the wake up, and then I think it was Nate. Yeah. So Nate did his thing that morning, talking about school dances. He was really good. Saw a little bit of our friend Vanessa Joy from Wedding Wire. And then I had my thing with BPM Supreme, the 10 Steps to a Great Event, that was delegated to a much smaller room. In fact,
dude, I could not even get in. Yeah. I literally couldn't get in. I tried to. I got there about 15 minutes late, admittedly, and it was, it was packed in the room, and it had spilled out into the hallway. And so I tried to wave to you. You were busy, and then I just left.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I know you told me you came by, and I appreciated that.
Kudos to you, though, dude. That just shows you a namesake like you. If they're gonna have somebody with your reputation speak, it should be on the big stage, because that was just a compliment to you.
Yeah, thank you, man. Yeah. And I think BPM made a good move by hiring me to speak there, because they were just going to talk about their app. So instead, they bring in a name, quote unquote, and I presented some tips. And anyway, it all worked out for the best for everybody. And then I think the last day I saw Howard Wallach. He was really good. And then I saw a little bit of Mitch and a little bit of Phil Morse from Digital DJ Tips. And then Jay and I kind of closed it out in terms of the people that I know. I was getting ready for our thing and admittedly did not see the closing keynote, which is
It's funny. I'm reading a book about the mafia. When you say our thing, you were getting ready for our thing. Yeah, it's he didn't mean it code? Like that. Yeah, La Casa Nostra means our thing.
I got you.
That's kind of...
Oh, you broke up for a second. Hold on. You broke up for a second. What did you say? What does it mean?
I said La Casa Nostra means our thing.
Okay.
And that's how that's one of the ways they refer to organized crime amongst themselves. So when you said you were getting ready for our thing, I was like, no, he didn't mean that.
but really though, Mike, I and I kind of was like tooting your horn, but your thing on Monday, man, like to rip 90 minutes. I mean. And again, I saw you kind of speed burn through a couple of things, and I know you had said you had dropped a few slides. Like that was, number one, you and I talked about this ad nauseum in the workshop about how we've shortened everything we've done. The videos that you make, the vlogs you make, everything I do is short. I mean, sometimes under a minute. And for you to hold the rapt attention of, I mean, Mike, there looked to be, there was probably 800,000 people in the room. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, you saw the pictures. I was at the back and taking those shots. I mean, you could see that, day one, speaker one is the most engagement and love.
Right. That's why I lobbied for that position. I asked for that position. I was happy to get that position. And then the last thing I was going to do was not deliver. And it meant a lot to me. It meant a lot that, I worked hard on this content.
You could tell.
Research. I did the survey, which was time consuming, and putting all that stuff together.
Yep.
So the fact that it really did connect with everybody and I got so much feedback, it was awesome. And P.S., if you are a listener and you want to see this content, I am delivering this at ARM DJs in June, and then again in Atlantic City in August. So I shouldn't say that one definitively. I haven't been confirmed for that, but I'm hoping to. So hopefully you'll have a chance to see this content, because I think it's relevant for all of us. The seminar is simply called Why People Dance, and that's what I really analyze. What are the motivations that get people dancing? What stops people from dancing? And then what are the things that we can do as DJs to remove those obstacles and encourage more and more people to get up? So, thank you very much for the kind words and your help afterwards. I sold a lot of products, so I appreciate your help.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Good stuff. Yeah.
I mean, for me, the takeaway, I really go back to yours, because I think, and again, not to blow smoke, but I mean, that is the one, again, that was when I was the freshest. The beauty of the first day is, for people that weren't there, you don't even start till 1 o'clock. So I woke up on East Coast time super early. I went to the gym. I went and sat down with one person to eat breakfast with Dana, which turned into 7 as people walk by that little open air restaurant, that bocce place. Right. So I had a great breakfast, which is pretty rare there. And it just built and built from that day. And then I went into Mike's thing feeling, really good, and awake and alert. And a lot of the things you talked about, Mike, you know, and again, I don't want to spoil this because you are doing it a couple more times this year, but just between the sitters and the dancers and I forgot what the third category was, but
the skeptics.
Yeah, but that was kind of my takeaway, you know, really for the whole week, and just in terms of there's some people you're just not going to turn over, but they're still important to the party. They're still referral sources. They're still having a good time. Even those shows that you feel like you didn't rock, think about how shitty they would be without music.
Yeah, I chose a photo to represent the sitters of a woman smiling at her table. Yeah. And I did that on purpose, and I talked about that because I'm one of those DJs that just assumes if you're not dancing, you're not having a good time.
Right.
But it's important to remember that people on the dance floor doesn't mean they can't enjoy themselves. And people who sit all night long can often be a great source of referral because they're observing you. And so if you are having fun and interacting, and that doesn't mean on the dance floor leading dances, but just being a happy DJ, and they're sitting there watching you, we've all seen it. People come up and take a business card and say, you were great. And you're thinking, I didn't see you on the dance floor once.
Partying, right.
But it doesn't mean they can't love you and be a great source of referral. So I think it's something we all need to keep in mind.
Love it. Love it.
I'll tell you what, like I said, I missed all the seminars, missed pretty much every educational. So I was doing those microphone workshops Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and you were in there. Yeah, I was really psyched that Mobile Beat asked me to do that. I would love to do it again next year.
Yeah.
I got tons of great feedback. People have messaged me about it. But my biggest takeaway from leading those all week was it's one thing to observe. It's another thing to get involved. And not everybody did get involved. There were a number of people who were in there, you know, for a couple different shifts because they were all 90-minute shifts and came back on multiple days and never took the microphone. And I wasn't going to put pressure on anybody or embarrass anybody, but there were a few people that got up multiple times. You know, Rachel Lynch got up on day 2, and then she came back on day 3 and got up, and she had already implemented some of the things, some of the suggestions I gave her. So, you know, if you're gonna be involved in an educational opportunity like that, you know, I know it's nerve-wracking, and there were some people that got up there and the hand was literally shaking because they were so nervous, but get involved because you're going to get more out of it than just sitting there. So watching.
Yeah, brief story. So I did. I texted Mike, I think the day before the last day, and he had a long day in the room, and I said, man, I need to come to your thing. And he just wrote, yeah, you do. So next morning I woke up. I think I went to one quick seminar. Maybe I went to the gym. Before I went on, we had a bit of an altercation. I don't want to get into it on this. Not Mike and I. Somebody basically threw my mojo off at 8:45 a.m.
Oh, I don't think I knew this.
Yeah, you were standing beside me. And she said,
all right. Yeah. Oh,
this person said to me, a lot of people hate you in the Facebook groups, and just out of nowhere, like Mike and I were just, and Mike kind of stood up for me, and then I was kind of shook, but then I go right into his workshop and try and get on the mic. And
I didn't realize that shook you so much. I mean, to me,
it was just a weird way to start the day. And maybe if at the end of the day I would have just been like, but it was a weird opening morning. And then I get on the mic, and then I will say this, Mike, amazing workshop or amazing MC thing. I think tons of people learn from it. I know I learned from it, even just watching other people doing it myself. But I would say if at all possible, and hell, I'll even bring mine out there, I would have done so much better with my controller, you know, being able to really control the music. So if I had one suggestion, it would be to put some sort of basic controller up there with the Serato. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. If I do that, I didn't ask until like the week before.
Yep.
And then at that point, I just didn't have time to make arrangements. But if they bring me back in that capacity, I'll just ask for the simplest of controllers would certainly help. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Let's talk. And I think we had mentioned one of the notes on we were going to talk about. It's just personal or social moments. Again, I think it just goes back to what we opened with the show with. Anytime somebody stops me and wants to take a picture, that just, one, it blows my mind, but it makes my day. And I just got a post, and I know this guy listens, Richie Stedman. I believe he's from Salt Lake City, Utah. There's a lot of DJs out of Utah that are really talented, if you hadn't noticed that. But anyway, he made a post yesterday, and it was a picture of me and him, and then another picture from the BPM Supreme seminar. And he said, I was so worried that I was going to, in quotes, kill a hero, but Joe Bunn was as personable as he is on the podcast and in
that's cool.
And in his Facebook messages to me. And I was like, oh man, because I've met that band guy.
Right.
I've met this dude, this athlete or this guy in a band and been so, and I killed the hero because the guy was a dick to me or whatever.
Yeah, there are some people that say you should never meet your heroes.
That's right.
And I don't want to be that guy. If somebody admires me from this podcast or whatever,
yes.
I had a very funny moment. I think it was Wednesday. I had gone all day without talking to Kelly because she's busy. I'm busy.
Yeah.
And that long hallway between the main casino and where, so I'm on the phone with her.
Yeah.
And there was a guy following me, and I could tell he was staying in my like social, like in that circle where I could tell, and I was just like, oh, this is my first chance. I'm aggravated. I finally get off the phone, and sure enough, as soon as I hang up, he goes, dude, and I'm like, yeah, and he goes, hey man, you still have those videos? I want to buy from you. So I instantly went from slightly aggravated to, of course, and I'm opening up my backpack and made a $250 sale.
Walking down the hall.
All of a sudden I was not as aggravated. Yeah. But so, I mean, we always talk about attending these shows is different than watching YouTube videos and everything because you do have the networking opportunity and the social. Did you have a favorite? I know you and I talked about going to dinner Monday night, so don't use that one. But did you have a favorite moment socially, just on a personal level?
We did. You know me, man. I hate a theme restaurant. You made me go to that Dick's place last year.
Oh, I know. That was a mistake.
And you were laughing at me the whole time. They had a paper bag on my head that said I was a douche or something. So this year, I think it was me, Brian B., a couple of my DJs, Bunn DJs, Maria Mattarelli, and I think that was it. And it was about 5 of us, and we go to this place to eat sushi, and it was called Sake Rock, R-O-K.
Oh, I've been there.
Okay.
Yeah, and they get up and they do the choreographed dances in between.
Dude, I did not know that was coming.
Oh, I enjoy that.
Listen, but I would have enjoyed that part. But the MC,
if you do?
The MC honed in on me, and he liked me more than he liked me. He just liked me, and I was like, oh boy. So finally, you know what? I was like, man, screw it. I just embraced it. He had a red fur coat on, and somehow I talked him out of it and got a picture wearing his red fur coat. He looked like Adam Lambert at his pre-Queen, like absolute most androgynous look ever. That's what he looked like, and he was in love with me. And he goes, what ethnicity are you? You're handsome. And I said, dude, I'm a redneck. I have no clue. And he goes, that's hot. I was like, all right, buddy. I do not.
So is this where the story ends?
That's
or
where
what
it ends.
Yeah,
Vegas?
No, Vegas?
No, it ends there. But I did get a picture in his red fur coat.
Very cool. Very cool.
Anyway, did you have one? Or
yeah, I forget what night we went to the. I told you about that Forza Bruta show.
Oh yeah.
Kelly and I had seen it in Lower Manhattan number of years ago, probably like 7 or 8 years ago. Yeah. And we'd actually seen it twice. We enjoyed it so much. So when I landed and was taking an Uber to the airport, I saw a sign for it. I was like, oh, maybe I can get to see it this week. So I threw it out to a few people, and only a few were game enough because it is kind of a trippy, out there, high energy, cathartic kind of show. And Quayne and Miles came with me, and another guy, David, who I think he actually attended the workshop, if I remember. He was there, and on the walk over, I said to Quayne, do you have an edible? And he goes, yeah. So I took an edible.
Wait, hold on. You're breaking up. Don't finish the story. Hold on.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. You took the edible.
Yeah, so I took the edible, and I don't know, it just kind of enhanced the whole experience. There were a couple of light show scenes where it's really kind of trippy with the lights and stuff, and I was like, oh, this is enhanced by by that. So that was probably, and I think it was the only night where I got back to my room after 11 o'clock. That's how geeked out I was in Vegas. I was so busy and so tired, and I think every other night I was in my room by 10:30, but I think I actually got back at like 11:30 that night. Like, woo, I'm crazy.
You're a rager.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't rage too hard myself either.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if I had less to do, I might have. But yeah, just every morning it was like, I got to be fresh at 8 a.m. for this MC Institute. So it just didn't work out. But, who knows? I can have a great time without staying out till all hours.
Valid.
And then we did the workshop,
Yep.
the PHDJ workshop. So, it's funny. You talked about but that Monday morning 1 o'clock slot. One of the reasons it's great is that everybody's fresh and their brain isn't fried yet and everything else.
Yep.
That's the one drawback of doing the workshop starting Thursday afternoon. And we address it right up front. We're like, guys and gals, thank you for being here. We understand your head is already filled and yet you've got a day and a half more of education. But just like the last couple of years, I mean, I didn't see anybody suffering. Nobody missed large segments of it. Everybody was taking notes and into it. So I give people, I mean, they paid good money to be there and they want to get the most out of it. But it was great. We had a full room and lots of eager participants. And I think with this class, we are now right at 100 graduates.
That's awesome.
In our Facebook group. Yeah.
That's too cool, man. Yeah. So we had 18, right, Mike?
I think we did. Yeah.
18. So it was great, man. And I've gotten, again, and I know you have messages about it, how people, got so much content, not only from Mobile Beat, but really like copious amounts of notes and pages. In fact, I just got a message from Todd Powers asking for something that I mentioned in one of the seminars. By the way, I need to send you the PDFs so you can send them out to everybody.
Yeah.
And anyway, so it was great, man. I think that it lives on. I think you and I had discussed maybe that this was the final one, but I think it lives on, don't you?
Yeah, I think we kind of flirted with that, but it makes no sense. I mean, the feedback is awesome. I mean, especially, we have to talk about the future. If we can, if Mobile Beat wants to offer us the same deal next year, I think we move forward there. If not, I mean, Raleigh's a great town, dude. I'd love to come back.
Me too. I love it.
So if you're interested in stay tuned. We have announcements sometime in the next couple of months. I don't want to promise when, but yeah, Joe and I are not done with the PHDJ workshop, nor me.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, upcoming shows.
Speaking of which, nor are we done with this podcast, right?
No, we're not.
You and I have flirted with that, but we're going to do something we've never done before.
Oh shit! Here comes the bad news. Hit them with it.
No, not bad news. Listen, every television show takes a summer hiatus.
Even your hero, Stern.
Yeah, Stern takes more time off. We're going to take 3 weeks off. That's all.
3?
Yeah, well, right. I mean, the next podcast will drop in 3 weeks from now. Yeah, because I'm away, you're away. The thought of recording 3 episodes today
we barely got this one done,
it's just,
guys,
exactly,
quite frankly.
Right. We were literally like, when can you do it? Can you do it? I can't do it that time. I mean, we need to take 3 weeks off while I'm away. So the second week of April is when our next new podcast will drop, and I'm sure our listeners will be fine. You can go back and listen to, what do we have, 119 that we recorded. Yeah. So if you miss Joe and I that much, and Joe, while I'm away, if you want to share one next Thursday, go back.
A favorite or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
go back and find a favorite rerun or something. You can do that. Somebody said, you know what you should do? You should edit the best of. And I'm like, I don't have time to do that either.
God.
So that's a great idea.
Do not make Mike do that.
So we're going to take 3 weeks off, and it's not the end of the world,
Yes, you guys will make it.
So before we wrap, where can we see you?
Yes,
this year?
You will see me real soon in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Midwest DJs Live.
Yeah, that's a great show, man. Awesome show.
I'm going to be speaking about expanding my brand. So how did I open offices in other cities and states?
Topic for you, dude.
Never spoken on it. Started working on it already. It's going to be really good. I think Mitch is really excited. I'm really excited. So I'll see y'all there. And then
I spoke there last year. I loved it. It was fantastic. That's
Mike and I are
anyone who is thinking about going to that show, look into it. Midwest DJs Live, phenomenal. What is that? The first week of May?
No, it's the end of April. I think it's the 27th through the 30th.
Oh, so last week. Okay.
Yeah.
End of April. Yeah, it's a great show. Yeah.
And then Mike, you'll be at ARM DJs in Tennessee. I won't be there.
June? Oh, we'll miss you. Yeah. You sure you can't make it?
No,
That's
I'm not
too
positive.
far.
Yeah, I'm not positive.
Okay.
I'm
all right.
28th through the 30th, sorry, for Midwest DJs.
Got it.
Then I guess, Mike, I feel like I need to be in Atlantic City this year. I don't know.
You should make the trip, dude. Yeah. It's a fun trip.
We'll hang out. We'll do some stuff. Yeah.
I'm not as busy as I was in Vegas. So other than my seminar on day one, we'll be able to hang out. And there's lots of DJ Times is a great time. It does a great job with the evening entertainment. So yeah, I think you'd enjoy it.
All right,
a lot.
I'll be there.
Cool.
All right, cool, guys. I know you're gonna miss us, but
thanks for tuning in. Yeah,
thank you for everything.
We'll be back.
We will be back. We're gonna
little spring break,
little spring break, and we'll be planning some great episodes coming up. I talked to a lot of people that want to be on the show, so more guests coming up, and just keep listening. We appreciate you guys.
Ciao, everybody.
Later.